Okay. And we are live. And for some reason, I cannot hear you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't hear you. Hello, I am Sally Reed.
And I am Malyssa Jackson.
And together we are bringing you today's topic of judging your others is actually judging yourself.
That sounds right. That sounds exactly right.
So what do you do, Malyssa?
Well, let's see. What do I do? I help people to learn how to better themselves through a daily yoga practice and mindset coaching and some other fancy tricks that we have up under our sleeve to really just help people get to know themselves and live their life to the fullest. How about you,
That
Sally?
sounds good. Well, I heal people. I heal people from chronic illnesses and chronic pain that they may have had a really big problem finding a way out of it. I channel some very powerful guides, and I also run a membership group that we meet twice a month, and we heal and we learn things very similar to what we're doing here. And I'll leave a link somewhere if you're interested.
Sounds good. It sounds like overall we just make people better.
That's what we do. And when we're combining forces, here's the thing, is all laser in, and then she knows how to translate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you say it fancy, and for some reason I understand it. And then I break it down so everyone else can understand it. And then I'm more so of the day-to-day, how to maintain for the long haul. You know, how to really maintain that new lifestyle, not just a quick fix diet, but this is my new life, my new path of living happy and peaceful, blissful.
And what I do is I go in there and I'll remodel the kitchen.
Yeah, real quick.
I was like, what? Jess, go.
So today we are talking about judgment of others. And
but it's actually judging yourself.
Yes, exactly. So why do we judge others when we see people and we're like, oh, that person is this or that, and, you know, constantly judge others? That's kind of the whole point that we're trying to make today, is because we're feeling some kind of way about ourselves personally, and then we put that out there on other people.
That's true. So this is, I'm just going to describe a typical scenario. Typical scenario, you're sitting somewhere, say you're on the subway, the bus, the train, wherever. People come by. You got a thought for every single freaking one of those. But what you don't understand is you are measuring yourself in comparison to them, and you're hoping it shows up like this.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny. I actually had that realization this week when I noticed, someone, don't remember who, was comparing, and everything was a comparison, Well, this is, that person is this and this person is that, and, they're better than me, or I'm better than them, or you're better at this. And I'm like, why even compare? Why compare? Why can't we just all be? Why can't we all be neutral? There's always that judgment of, that person is not doing that, they're doing that right, they're doing that wrong, this is good enough, it's not good enough, and usually that is ourself saying, I'm not good enough for that situation, or, we're really putting out there what we think and what we believe and putting that on other people. Do you agree?
I totally agree. And guys, how many people want to sit in a defendant's seat in a courtroom?
Right.
Not me.
Yeah, it's true.
Because that's what you're doing. You're placing every single person that you meet in the defendant's seat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How does that feel?
Yeah, and the other person, they don't know what's going on in your head and how you just assessed and judged them for everything.
But they do. Because remember, every single human being is like a radio playing a tune, playing a story, playing something. Did you know how, like, when you're sitting on the train or the bus or the subway and you can feel somebody's eyes on you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can also feel somebody's judgment, somebody's subtle. Raise your hand if you ever felt somebody judging you without words.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the point that I was getting to, is that even though you're not saying it out loud, energetically, like we were talking about last week, they feel it and it attaches to them. You know, energetically, they totally take on your judgment.
They can, especially the short people, the young ones that don't have any shields.
Yeah.
I mean, people judge your babies. This little bitch better go to sleep soon or I'm gonna throttle her.
Yeah, it's and sometimes you don't even realize it because it's such a natural thing that you were judged when you were small. So you thought that all little babies should be judged. You know, I've seen people, like, you know, play with the baby when she was, you know, a few months old and say things like, you know, oh, you know, little stinky feet, or, you know, oh, how cute little stinky feet. And I'm like, but my baby doesn't have stinky feet. So why are we talking about the baby having stinky feet? Why is this a thing? You know,
It's not.
you know, and but people can't help it, you know. Oh, little baby, you're like this or you're like that, and you know, the
Placing of judgment on your baby.
yeah, this poor little innocent soul has no idea. No idea.
What about them talking about her hair?
I mean, you just can't help it because she doesn't have any yet. It's just
She's got some fuzz. She's not bald headed.
guess what? She had her first hairstyle this week and had some little bows, and it was the cutest thing ever. But you know, they're more worried about it growing than she is. She doesn't, you know, but it's
so the point of what we're talking about, because we do ramble and we love it, but the point of what we're talking about is, number one, your judgments are being broadcast in the air, but also they're being broadcast inside. So you are bathing yourself in the emotions and feelings of sitting in judgment. Now, anybody who has been to church understands whose job it is to judge. And I don't know anywhere in the Bible where it says your job is to judge every other human being that walks through the world.
it's true.
Do you know anywhere in that? I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think too, sometimes we don't realize that we're judging others because we're so critical of ourselves that it almost feels kind of like a natural thing, you know?
Have you unlocked the key? I believe you have.
You know, we don't even realize it. It's just a thing. We just do it, you know? We see others what we're seeing in ourselves. What we're judging ourselves for is what we're seeing in other people. Because someone else is not going to see it because they don't have that self-judgment for that person. But if it's something that you are seeing constantly, if you constantly notice that someone is not pretty enough, whose issue is that? Is that the person who's not pretty enough? Or is that your issue for believing that you're not pretty enough?
So Malyssa, she nailed it there, because this is what it is. When you're sitting in judgment of somebody else, you are literally taking out your measure stick and see, you know, girls measure their beauty and guys measure their dicks, right? So we are literally laying it on the table to see who's the prettier, and seeing, you know, like, I want to be the prettier one, so I want to measure this. But you know what else you're doing? You're vibrating all this self-doubt, this negativity, you're vibrating, I am not good enough, so therefore I have to find other people who are less than. And it's a whole nother story when people verbally bring other people down if they think they're above there, and we'll address that later. But when it's just through judgment, like, oh, who does she think she is? Take it away. You got some words about that.
It's funny because I was listening to what you're saying, and I think about how when I was younger and I was in judgment, I'm not saying that I'm don't judge anyone now, but I used to be much worse at it. And obviously I was much more insecure at the time. But, it's like when you see someone and, you hear about people saying, oh, you hating. And you're like, and you've compared them to yourself and whether or not they're prettier than you or not. And now all of a sudden you're looking at this person and you're trying to make them not pretty. You see that they obviously are nice looking, or they're prettier because you believe that they're prettier, but you have to now find something wrong with them so that you can feel better about yourself.
Ding.
That's what hating is. Making someone else feel bad about who they are so that you can feel better about yourself, instead of loving yourself unconditionally and being happy for everyone and all of everyone's successes and everything that makes people happy or good or whatever. Just
That's it entirely.
Yeah, bring others down to where you are so they can feel how you feel, which is like poop. You should feel better.
And by the way, it's not uncommon for people just starting on a spiritual journey that if they've recently learned that doing something is incorrect, to sit in judgment of other people who are still behind them in that journey.
I know, it's terrible. I think I just
it's terrible.
I just got over that one. I say it's terrible because I'm judging myself for having been that way.
But what it is I am still not sure of my pathway. So I must measure my journey based on the journeys of others. So since I'm a competitive ego, because that's all judgment is ego-based. Since I'm a competitive ego-based human, I must win. And so I have to look behind me and say, I'm beating that person. I'm more spiritual. In the act of doing that, you're actually making yourself fall backwards.
Your ego is getting in the way. I didn't really understand, the first time I heard ego, the first yoga teacher training I did, and they were like, ego. And it didn't make sense. It was so blurred. But really all ego is judgment. It's a part of it, I should say.
Yeah, it's a part of it. Here's to me, this is what ego is. Ego is the part that says, I'm first, fuck everybody else. That's the part of you. It's the part that says, me do now, instead of, I will wait and be patient.
That's the 2-year-old.
Yes, but there's parts of 2-year-old that's amazing. Now, and you've seen this a million times, you experienced Mother You. Nothing is more wonderful than watching ambulatory, very early verbal child discover her world. And be so excited by every new discovery. That's an amazing trait of a toddler. An amazing trait.
And if we don't ruin it, they will continue to discover and learn and grow. But we start judging them then for trying to learn. You're gonna fall.
Oh yeah. Big deal. It's this. Yeah, I've seen that a million times. Sure.
Yeah, it's true. And at the end of the day, the ego is what most of us are driven by until we realize that we can let it go, or at least move to the side or be aware when the ego is taking charge. Oh,
there, we were freezing.
Oh,
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm sure they heard it. It's okay.
All to the good. But at the end of the day, you just want to really be careful, because when you're putting that judgment out there on others, back to the point, just want to bring it back to the point, you are really judging yourself. And if you can speak from a place of self-love, then you won't feel the need to judge others. And this is something that, I say all my lessons I recently learned because I feel like I'm always learning and always growing. I know that self-love is a huge deal. We all know it is. We've been hearing that our whole entire life. We just don't know how to do it. We don't really know what it means. But real self-love means stop judging yourself.
Yeah.
Wait.
And also being okay with anything that happens next. Like, let's do an example. Yesterday, I was getting ready to go to an appointment out in the real world. My first one in a long time. It was very exciting. And I had a cup of water. You guys know I'm a big drinker. And so I had a cup of water with me. And I was going to dry my hair. So I plugged in the hair dryer and I picked it up. And the water, I'm laughing, right? But the water flipped over and it drenched what I was wearing because I had already decided what I was going to wear. And then it hit the rug. And so I had to stop everything I was doing and dry. But did I cuss myself out and say, you stupid, blah, blah, blah? No, I'm laughing now because that's what I did. I laughed because it was such a ridiculous thing. It made me stop being nervous about going out in the world because I haven't been out in so long. It made me come back into the now, because if I had been in the moment, I would have noticed the cup about to fall over.
You could have knocked it over. It's true.
And you see how life, the universe was a playful puppy with me. Like, you're not paying attention, so pay attention.
Wake up, and the learning to not judge yourself for that, because you could have potentially had a really terrible day for the rest of the day. You could have judged that moment as, I'm clumsy. Oh, I hate that judgment.
I'm so stupid.
I'm stupid. I cannot believe I did that. I this, I that. And you could have gone down this whole rabbit hole of how much you hate yourself. And the rest of the day, you would have been fussing at everybody and judging everybody and not knowing why. But instead, taking that time to laugh about it probably made the day much happier because, hey, you're in a good mood. You already wasted water on yourself. Can't get much worse than that. It's a great day.
It was hilarious. When you think, I had to change. I had to stop and dry everything. It was like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
It happens. And the ability to not judge yourself in that moment is priceless.
It is.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's all self-love.
It is. And my guides, they say this to me all the time. They say, that's not so bad. You're still breathing, aren't you?
Yeah.
So if you judge any catastrophe by, are you still breathing? Then it's all a win.
Absolutely. It's funny because that's kind of my tagline for when people say, how are you today? Oh, how are you? I'm like, I am great. I woke up this morning. Like, doesn't get much better than that. Because there are some people that actually did not wake up today. So I feel like, since I did, I should be grateful. For that, I should be grateful. I woke up. And it's another chance to have a better day than I had yesterday. And another chance to stop judging myself and everyone else.
You said a key thing, and I'm going to pull it out. I am the only one that I'm competing with. And what I'm doing is having a better day than I had yesterday. Every day is a new opportunity to discover new ways to have a better day.
That's true.
And an excellent way to stop judging, because most judging starts before you even get out of bed. Notice this, guys. You're gonna move a little bit. Oh, that shoulder, oh, it hurts, or my back. Or you're gonna turn around and you put your feet on the floor, or my feet hurt, or something like that. Or, oh yeah, I got a hangover, whatever. If you start in that moment and say, hold it, self-talk.
I woke up.
Today is a great day. Today is a fabulous day.
Absolutely.
And just start with that. Today is an opportunity. Today is amazing. And I know it sounds like voodoo, but believe it or not, you can shut up that noise, judgy noise in your head if you just keep saying, oops, sorry, you're wrong. Today's a great day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been tricking myself like that for years. I know that tricking is not quite the right word. I got chastised for this earlier, but I have learned in the beginning, I did what I lied to myself until it was true. And now that it's true, I probably still use that a little bit, but the truth is it's actually real now. I actually do live in happiness, in peace. It really is a great day. It started in the beginning, it was a great day just because I woke up. But now it's a great day just because I can't think of any reasons for it to not be a great day. I can't think of anything to complain about. I can't think of anything to judge and not like about, where I am, because I'm fully aware that everything happening in my life today in this moment is happening because it's supposed to. And not only that, I put me in this situation. I have actually created everything in my life up to this point. So with that said, since I did this to myself, who am I to complain about it? If I don't like it, then I'll change it.
That's a perfect segue to what the guides were saying. And the guides are saying, when you start in the morning, when you open your eyes, having been in rest, and you begin your negative discussion, ask yourself, what am I really upset with? What is actually the issue? And this is a perfect time while you're peeing in the morning to just have a quiet discussion. What are you really mad at? What's actually wrong? And if you find that answer, then go the answer deeper. Then the answer deeper. We've discussed this before. So why is this the problem? Then you take that answer and go, well, why is that the problem? And you take that answer, and basically you're going to come down to a real dissatisfied, what actually you're dissatisfied with. And this is what you do with the answer. Because if something is if you're dissatisfied because, like, I can't have curly hair, really? Either go get a perm or let that shit go, because it's something that somebody put on you. It was, I want you to know, Malyssa Jackson's babies do not walk around saying, I sure wish I had this instead of this.
They don't? Good. Did something right. But it's true. It's true that judgment of self, it takes you down such a spiral,
And a lot of times, remember, Malyssa, a lot of times that deep core was handed to you as a gift.
Yeah, thanks, person who gave me that gift and told me that I wasn't good enough in some way. So now I turn around and judge everyone else as if they're not good enough in some way. This is why, I constantly praise, the kids for everything that someone else could think of to not praise them for, or what I think that the world, may judge them on. I make sure that, they feel good about it, that they love themselves. Like, that's my goal. I just want to make sure that you love yourself. You know that you're perfect, because I know that you're perfect. I tell my child all the time, you're perfect. Even when they're not perfect, I just want them to know that, hey, this way or that way, you're still perfect. You need this moment to be whoever you need to be. But at the end of the day, you are exactly as you are supposed to be. This is not really a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
I used to have such judgment about the color of my hair, which used to be red, because redheads go white real fast. But I had judgment about the shape of my body. I had how many women have judgments about the shape of their bodies? I had judgments about the color of my skin. Me. I know, yeah. White girl, you got a problem, right?
Black.
What's funny is I was always kept inside because I was fair-skinned and redheaded, and all the other children could play outside. And this was before they had good sunscreen. And so I had judgments that my skin wasn't good enough It wasn't dark enough. Do you believe
I hear you. I guess mine was my skin wasn't light enough, but you know,
And look,
hey, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. If you're not happy with what you have, I mean, then you're just never going to be happy. Because you're always looking at someone else and saying, oh, what they have is better, or what they have is worse, or this or that. And at the end of the day, you just have to sit with what you have and make it absolutely amazing in your own head. Because it doesn't matter what anybody else's head thinks. It only matters what's in your own head about how perfect your skin is, about how perfect your eyes are, about how perfect your hair is, about how perfect your body size is. Like, what you're doing with your life is perfect. Not what someone else is doing is better, or what someone else is doing is worse. It is what it is, and you sit with it, and you celebrate it, and you be with it, and stop judging everyone else because you don't feel like yours is good enough. Change your mind and make it good enough. I know it sounds simple, but it is.
Here's something that if you can tell yourself when you see a woman who you believe is beautiful, or you see a person doing an activity that you would dearly love to do, the simple thing is saying, they're a human, I'm a human, I'm going to learn how I can do that too. Since they're a human and they're doing it, that means it's possible for me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, especially if it's something that you can change. If it's
change everything.
Something that you can change, then you just make a decision and you change it. Now, my skin will not be lighter. That maybe I cannot change. Maybe I could bleach it, but then I still wouldn't be happy. The point is, I am completely happy with the way it looks, with who I am, because I realize that changing it doesn't change a thing. I'm still me on the inside. So even if I could,
and girl, you're very light skinned, so I think it's even funnier that you're saying this.
I'm making a point. I'm perfectly happy with my skin, and to be honest, that is the daytime glow from sun and the water. Okay.
No, this girl's light skinned.
Daytime glow. But it's true though. It is a thing where to be lighter is better in the community. And if you ask me, it's a joke. That's how I feel.
It is a joke.
I think that all ranges of skin complexions are beautiful, every single one of them. And I think that people just, however, that judgment is because I truly believe that my skin color is okay. And when I
actually like hers better than mine.
See that there she go judging me. So, but my point was, because I do see that and I do feel that and I believe that, I can look at all ranges of skin colors and believe the same thing. There's no judgment. It makes me crazy when someone says, you know, oh, you're so dark. You know, like, okay, well, I've been sitting in the sun. What do you think was going to happen? Or not me, or you know, the baby, or whoever. You know, the dark skin complexion is equally as beautiful.
Well, what I think is amazing, and this is a real thing, and one of the reasons why I have been feeling so, you know, actually your skin in the grand scheme of things is the higher and more perfect skin, because you're not going to die of skin cancer. Like me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to die. You're not going to die of skin cancer either.
I'm not either, but I've been battling skin cancer since I've been 24 years old. And that's a thing. That's a real thing.
I could see that. But now here's the thing. Could that be because of your judgment of your skin?
Oh, that's a good choice.
I'm just saying, could that be because the fact that you judge your skin, that maybe that's why that is in your life?
That's a very good possibility because the universe is a playful puppy.
That's right.
And if you ask for it, that puppy's going to go, oh, go fetch. You.
So, I mean, that lesson is not, I mean, that's not for you. That's for, everyone out there who has something about themselves that they do not personally like. You have to fall completely in love with it. Completely in love with yourself, everything about yourself, everything that you do, everything that you put out into the world. Just fall completely in love with it.
Absolutely.
And watch everything around you change. Crazy. Right?
Absolutely change.
I only know this because I have an amazing life. That was a judgment.
However, she does. I mean,
I put in work.
You have.
It's work. It's work. It's work to learn to love yourself a lot. It really is, because I am probably one of the most insecure people I've ever known. But I had to work so hard on self-love that, so that it wouldn't be a thing. Because
let's investigate that, because there are other people on the planet who are insecure. Like, I was a secure insecure. I was born to be a secure dominant, right? And you were actually born to be a secure dominant. And what I mean is a soul type. Some people in the world are born leaders, right? That's a secure dominant. And then we have something known as an insecure dominant, which means that I want to be in charge, but I don't trust anybody else around me. That's not you. But what you did was cloak it in to be safe. I did it too. And we both became insecure submissives.
That's terrible.
And that's common. All women are basically socialized to become insecure submissive. Seriously, we are.
So true. It's the world that we live in. That's actually what it, that's what being a wife is. An insecure.
For me. For me.
But that's what I mean. That's a choice, that it's not that way for you.
And it's not that way for you either.
It's not the way that we were taught. It's not what we saw growing up. It's not what we saw on TV. It's not what, it's not the way it was intended. We just chose to be that way. No, it's not that way for me. I'm secure in mine. However, that's why.
And here's the thing, and this is where I'm talking about. Every human has their own individual soul and individual propensities. You can place on it all you want. And if you are not living your truth, if you are not expressing your soul's truth, that's where the problems start. And that's where the judgment starts. And that's where the self-hatred starts. And that's where the insecurity starts. And that's why we do what we do.
Interesting. That makes so much sense. I didn't quite put it into that perspective, but the more I express my truth, the less I feel judgment for myself. Because I think that, at least for me, we're taught that our truth is wrong, or bad, or incorrect. And that's where the judgment of self comes from. But it's like, how could it be wrong? It's who I am. How could that not be okay? I don't have a choice. Like, this is what is. How could that be wrong?
Yes. So imagine the pain of a human being who is inside one certain way and is told that that way is a don't be, is a not allowed, is in a shameful. You are shameful because you exist. Now, would that not cause a lot of internal pain, a lot of internal self-hatred, a lot of projection of judgment and self-hatred, out to the world? That person's a bitch, that person's a blah, 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 blah.
That makes me want to cry, because, not really, but it does. It makes me want to cry. I feel it emotionally, because I know that, I'm sure that is me. I'm sure it's a lot of people, but I can feel that deeply inside of me. Now, on the surface, I'm good. I have learned a lot, mentally, emotionally aware. I get it. But I know for a fact that being me was incorrect. Completely. You can't be you. It's wrong. There's no way you can be that. And even understanding that, it's still very difficult to teach someone else.
Here's a way. The guide said approximately 85% of the people living and breathing on the earth today were told that some aspect of themselves was wrong, some fundamental aspect of themselves. And it's generally a phenotype, but it could be a personality type, like a dominant personality type. You can't do anything about your phenotype, and what they mean by phenotype is your physical appearance. But you can do something about your behavior. And so you subdue and subdue and subdue and subdue. Now, here's how you can have compassion. Shine the mirror of this pain on yourself, and then understand that that person over there has the same pain.
That makes sense.
And when you learn that one little, oh my gosh, that person actually hurts too, even though they're spouting, bitch, that means they're in so much pain.
And when you say that, I think of my lovely 3-year-old and the amount of pain that she spews out of her mouth to everyone all the time. And how the only thing I can do in that moment is give her a hug when I'm present so that she doesn't attach to my own stuff. And then I want to, yell or explode. I just have to embrace her because I feel, the pain and the judgment. It's always there.
And you know what? That's another thing the judgment does and the pain does. Our brains want to be correct. And so she's putting out what she expects to find.
Yeah, what she wants to feel.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the Karens in the world, the new meme of Karen. They're in such pain that they want to spew their pain to everybody to make sure that the world bites them back. It's no different than an inner city thug living a thug life. They feel pain, so they want to inflict pain, so pain comes back at them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an expectation. I expect for the world to treat me this way. And if you're treating me this way, I'm going to make you treat me this way. I'm going to make you leave me because everybody leaves me. Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to make you beat me because everybody beats me. I'm going to make you cuss me because everybody cusses me.
Hate me because everybody hates me. Yeah. Oh, that's a difficult thing to sit with and remember in the moment when someone is making you hate them.
But understand that they are judging you. They judge that you hate them, so they're going to attack you first. That's why judging other people is actually a judgment of yourself.
Mm-hmm. So how do we stop doing that? Just not judge ourselves, basically. Is there a trick?
That mirror, the compassion mirror, helps. When you feel yourself judging yourself, the guides always have reminded me to ask yourself, how does this help my current situation? How is this adding to value? Is it adding value to your life?
True. This is true. I like that one. Is this making?
Yeah.
No. Okay, then let's stop it.
It's exactly like, I feel really crappy, so I think I'm going to go hit my hand with a hammer.
Yeah. Until I feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
No.
I have found for me, though, that just really accepting completely myself, just really accepting me for what is, which is such it's a thing. Like it's a challenge, but it's real. And I feel like once I was able to accept myself completely, everything it is where it's supposed to be, then it becomes so much easier to not judge everyone else and to see everyone else for being exactly where they're supposed to be.
It's true. And when you find yourself in the wanting to hit, or in the actual hitting your hand with a hammer phase, one of the easiest ways to put down the hammer is to remind yourself of one thing that pleases you about yourself. And then when you find that one thing, then say, well, surely there must be another thing. And it could be something like, oh, I like the way when you toast, it always comes out perfectly. Or I like that you have an amazing ability to find really good deals at the thrift store. Or something tiny.
Yes. Yes. I like how you come give me a hug. Or, always smile when I need it. There's always something there. It's just like when it comes to being grateful, you just, no matter how poo-poo life is, you can always find something to be grateful for.
Even if it's just simply being able to move air through your lungs.
Breathing is always a good start, because we wouldn't be having this conversation if you weren't breathing. So,
no.
Yeah, it's just not possible. So I don't know. I think that about sums it up, unless you have something else to add, Sally.
Nothing. Just start small. Remember the mirror effect. Understand that not only are you projecting, but they're going to project back to you. We're all mirrors.
Yep. And just noticing when you are judging others, noticing when you start going down that rabbit hole, about someone else, and then bring it back to what you're feeling, what you're going through, and why you're judging. What is it triggering in you?
And the biggest side effect of, and we're saying it's a side effect, but it's really an effect. By the way, side effects are actually effects in all things, is the fact that the less you judge, the less you feel like judging.
That's true. And at the end of the day, you'll have what we all want, which is a happier, better life.
It's true.
That's the whole
point. If you want to work with either one of us, Malyssa, you have your daily yoga practice. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. So you can find me on my website, melyssajackson.com. And there you will find information about our daily yoga practice and our mindset coaching. We have the yin class. Everything is online. And also you can just have a free 15-minute call with me to find out exactly what you need, how I can help you, and how we can work together. So that's always a good place to start.
It is. And with me, you can go to sallyreed.com. And there's a link to join my membership group. It's only $25 a month. You can ask me questions. I will answer them. And we will also have a guided healing meditation, or guides have something like this to say every single week. And that, again, is only $25 a month. And you can find that on sallyreed.com. And I look forward to talking to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to see you again next week, aren't we?
Next Sunday, we will have another wonderful conversation about something that you need and we need, because we heal from this too. And we are so grateful for the opportunity to help you guys through your stuff. And we look forward to seeing you or talking to you, because we can't see you. So talking to you next week.
Yeah, and like and share, guys. And the more the merrier. Invite them in.
Yeah, like and share.
We love you. Bye.